Shavuot Tov, everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Sitting here Sunday morning. It's the 47th day of the Omer. We are sitting here in between two very special days. Yesterday on Shabbos Kodesh, we started off Sefer B'Midbar with Parshas B'Midbar. And in just a few days, we're going to celebrate Chag HaShavuos. This happens most years. Most years, the Parsha before Shavuos, not on all years, but on most years, the Shabbos before Shavuos is Parshas B'Midbar. So the question comes up, what's the connection between Parshas B'Midbar and Chag HaShavuos? The Lubavitcher Rebbe makes this question a little bit more charif. He says more specifically, we know that on Chag HaShavuos, it's the day of Matan Torah, it's the day of the Chatunah, the wedding, the marriage between Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what's the connection between Parshas B'Midbar and the marriage of Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The Parsha starts off, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu to count Am Yisrael. He uses a very, very specific lashon. He says, Su'u et rosh kol adat b'nei Yisrael. So the lashon of Su'u, we can already maybe start to think of, maybe there's a connection between that and a wedding, or maybe between that and a nisuin. The lashon of Su'u, potentially, grammatically, it's connected to a wedding, and we can see and start to understand how these two ideas might be connected. Continues the Rebbe and says, what is counting all about? We know that Rashi on the pasuk, the many psukim in the Torah that describe the counting of Am Yisrael, always says that Kadosh Baruch Hu does this because He loves us. He loves Am Yisrael, and Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to count Am Yisrael. The question that comes up is, what does counting really do? Is counting something that highlights the individual importance of every single person? Or maybe, on the other hand, counting just turns every single person into a number, and we all lose our individuality and we become a part of a greater whole. What the Rebbe says is, even though in some ways it erases our own individuality through the counting, on the other hand, it highlights the deepest depths of our neshama, the sense in which every single Jew has a common ground with every other Jew in their connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's that deepest depths of their neshama? It's called in Yiddish the Pintel Yid, the deepest part of a Jew's neshama, where he's willing to be moser nefesh on what it means to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu into this world and to bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into this world. So in that sense, the counting in the beginning of Sefer B'Midbar and Parshas B'Midbar is a counting that allows all of us to connect to our innermost selves that actually unite us with all of Am Yisrael and unite us with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And through this idea, we can begin to understand how this might be connected to a marriage with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, through tapping into ourselves, to believing in ourselves, into our deepest depths of our neshama. We can begin to imagine ourselves as being a part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as individuals and as Am Yisrael as a whole. And we should be zocheh, as we approach in just a few days Chag HaShavuos, to have a beautiful Matan Torah, Kabbalas Torah, and we should be able to tap in to the deepest parts of ourselves in order to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. Shkoyach, and we should have a beautiful, beautiful week and a beautiful Chag HaShavuos.